Hi everyone, my name is Arianna and today I would like to talk about our experience with Imunify360. I work for Netsons in the customer care department, and before talking about our experience with Imunify360, I would like to tell you about our company, Netsons, and tell you a bit more about us. Netsons is one of the main Italian hosting providers, and we have offered IT solutions, dedicated servers, hosting, and cloud services since 2007. And 108,000 customers, individuals, and businesses have chosen to rely on our services, mainly in Italy and Europe. Netsons, as a company, has three main priorities. So we mainly focus on customer satisfaction, high-quality services, and services security. As far as customer satisfaction is concerned, well, I can say that our strength lies in the relationship that we build on a daily basis with people. And our support is made of people first and qualified professionals second. We listen to all the customer needs and requests, and we always try to find the best solution for them. Another important priority is the high quality of services offered. And our system team constantly performs program maintenance and interventions in order to improve the performance of our servers. Our system team also performs constant updates to ensure the highest uptime values of our servers. Another important priority is the theme of security, which in my opinion is one of the main aspects in the IT world. And I think that any self-respectable hosting provider should put security on their priority list. Well, and our system team is also constantly involved in the updating of our system, network analysis, vulnerability scanning, in order to ensure the highest level of protection and stability. Well, before Imunify360, we had several problems with different CMS, mainly with WordPress. Because customers finalized the installation of WordPress, but they didn't update it. Maybe because they didn't know how to do it, or maybe because they didn't know that WordPress, like any other CMS, requires constant updates. So basically, many sites ended up getting hacked and causing inefficiencies for the final user. Another problem was the compromission of FTP and email accounts, and through brute force attacks. And another one was the server rebooting after kernel patching. That means that after each application of the security patches, we had to reboot the actual server, causing sometimes the interruption of the service. And finally, in the past, we used to rely on different open source tools that didn't provide a user interface. So basically, we were looking for a solution that could involve the final user, their own interface, and that could help us alleviate sites getting hacked. With Imunify360, we found a viable and sustainable solution. And the main reasons that drove us to choose Imunify360 are essentially three. First of all, we are a CloudLinux partner. Our partnership with CloudLinux has been forged over the years. CloudLinux has always been for us a guarantee of quality and reliability. CloudLinux is not only a synonym for quality, but it does also have an excellent support team that is always reliable and accurate in providing us explanations and clarifications. So since we're looking for a security platform, and since our long-term partnership with CloudLinux, we seized the opportunity to try the CloudLinux product. In the past, like I said before, we used to rely on different open source tools that didn't provide any user interface and didn't provide, a full integration with our hosting panel. However, with Imunify, we found a perfect and full integration with cPanel, that is the hosting panel that we use on our hosting services. The last reason is that Imunify360 is a multi-layer security platform. So that means that it's a tool that offers a wide range of functionalities, all included in a single platform. Among the main features provided by Imunify360, I would like to show you the ones we appreciated the most and the ones we found more interesting and useful. First of all, it's worth mentioning the web application firewall. The web application firewall provided by Imunify360 also includes mode security that, in our opinion, is perfectly integrated in their web. Mode security, as you may know, is an open source tool that requires lots of test activity and rules updating. And since these tasks and operation are all managed by Imunify now, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So this was a great relief for us. Then another option that I think is one of the most appreciated among the system team is the kernel care feature that allows us to apply security patches without actually rebooting the server. As you may know, rebooting a server is an operation that implies a lot of complications. Thanks to this incredible feature, we are able to run all the updates without affecting our service. Imunify360 does also have an excellent IP management because it manages its own blacklist and whitelist. And another great option is the malware scanner. That is a tool that is able to scan the file systems for malware injection, and it can also automatically clean the infected files. The proactive defense, unlike malware scanner, is a real-time scanner. That means that when a file is loaded into the system, it is scanned right away. And if it's malicious, it's clean. The proactive defense tool, unlike other malware scanners, has a minimal impact on the performance of the server. When we implemented Imunify360 on our system, we have implemented it as a plugin installed in the WHM cPanel interface. Now I would like to show you some of the features of the WHM admin interface. From this interface, you have access to all the features provided by this tool. And specifically in this slide, we can see the dashboard. So here you're gonna find a general information about service status. And even if it's not visible from here, usually there are, below the service status information, there are several charts that show incidents recorded during a selected time of interval, the last 24 hours, the last 7 days, and the last 30 days. Moving on to the next one, this is the incidents tab, where we're gonna find a detailed report about all the incidents recorded by the firewall. From here, you can also move IPs to blacklist or wet list just by clicking on the gray engine icon. And you can also disable the rules with which they have been detected just by clicking here. This is the firewall tab where you can manage the firewall, and you can create and manage your own blacklist and whitelist. And you can also delete them, of course. This is the malware scanner section that I was talking to you about before. The malware scanner section has its own subsections. As we can see here, there's a user section where we can see all the users' names, the file directory, the number of malware found, and the date of the last scan. A great option that we can see here is the possibility to start a manual scan. For example, we can start a general scan just by clicking on the Scan All button, or you can even start a single scan for a specific user. This is the malicious tab where you're gonna see a list of all the malware found, the date of the scan, the file type, the user, the reason, and of course the file status, for example, content removed, quarantined, cleaned, restored, and so on. And from here, you can view the original file, and you can also edit it if you want to restore it, and of course, if you do not consider it malicious. This is the scan section, and this is a very interesting section because from here you can even scan a single folder, so a specific directory, just by tabbing the name in here. You can also customize the resources that you want to allocate to your scan just by, in terms of CPU and I/O consumption, just by moving this slider to a higher or a lower value. Then, of course, there's a history tab where you're going to find a general overview about the number of malware found, and an ignore list where there are all the files that will be excluded from the scanning. Well, this is the proactive defense section. Like I said before, the proactive defense tool analyzes the PHP script behavior, and it prevents it from causing any harm to the server. So it either blocks the entire script execution or just the malicious flow. The proactive defense can be set in 3 different modes. You can disable it. You can enable the log-only mode. In this way, the events will be just logged. Or you can set the kill mode. This, of course, will guarantee the highest level of protection, because the proactive defense tool will terminate the script as soon as the attack is detected. When we implemented Imunify360 on our systems, we decided to offer 2 versions of it. A standard version that is already included in our hosting services, and a pro version that, of course, provides more features, and we sell at a different price. In this slide specifically, we can see the cPanel user interface. From here, you can manage events, you can make corrections, you can move files to the ignore list so they will be excluded from the scanning, or you can even restore files. This is the pro version, and as we can see, the main difference between the 2 versions lies in the presence of the proactive defense tool. A big difference between the admin interface and the cPanel user interface is the possibility to start a manual scan. So you can do that only from the admin interface. So even in the pro version, you cannot start a manual scan for a specific user or for everyone. Well, I can say that Imunify360 really met our demands and needs. And since we have implemented this tool on our systems, our workload has significantly decreased for both support and system teams. And I think that this happened thanks to all the features provided by Imunify360, but especially thanks to the web application firewall that is able to prevent a lot of attacks. And this means less support requests and less workload. And thanks to a reduction of the workload, we were able to increase productivity and to cut staff expenses. So in this way, staff could focus and could work on other projects. Another great income came also from the pro version of Imunify360. Then, as I was saying before, we sell at a different price, and because the standard version is already included in our hosting services. Well, and apart from the web application firewall, I think that Netsons security levels have also increased thanks to all the features provided by Imunify360. And Imunify360 is a tool that is always up to date. So this really helps us to detect even the most recent attacks, ensuring a constant level of protection and security. I can proudly say that if Netsons has achieved high standards of quality and security over the years, is also thanks to the contribution of Imunify360. So overall, we are really satisfied with this product. And now I would like to show you the features that gave us the best impressions about this incredible tool. I think that it's worth mentioning again the kernel care feature. Because being able to run all the updates without actually rebooting the server is essential to ensure stability and work continuity. We also received many positive feedback about the Imunify360 interface, because it does have a clear layout and is very easy to use. Another option that I would like to talk about is the invisible reCAPTCHA. In order to explain it, we should see first how the standard reCAPTCHA system works. So basically, if a visitor violates the Imunify360 rules, so for example, if a user tries to enter the wrong password multiple times, Imunify360 will automatically block the access from their IP address. And the IP will be moved to the gray list, and the visitor will be redirected to the reCAPTCHA. But the invisible reCAPTCHA, unlike the standard reCAPTCHA, can really enhance the visitor experience because it uses some Google technologies that are able to detect whether an access is made from a human or not. So the invisible reCAPTCHA will redirect the visitor automatically to the destination page and without any annoying and not a robot screen. But of course, if the invisible reCAPTCHA detects any bot-related request, it will still trigger the reCAPTCHA challenge and it will block the access right away. And the IP will be removed from the gray list. Another option that I think that is really useful for our teams is the Imunify360 agent. There is the command line interface. This feature is really helpful because it allows them to run all the operations without using the graphic interface. And last but not least, I would like to mention the Imunify360 support team that, in my opinion, is definitely a strength because whenever you encounter issues or difficulties, I think that it's very important to have a good team of experts you can rely on and that understands and knows the product well. And I think that it's also important to have a good line of communication. The Imunify360 support team comprises friendly and qualified people whose solutions to our doubts or questions are always very thorough and comprehensive. And besides, I should also mention that Imunify360 provide very exhaustive documentation. So in case you don't want to open a support request, you can always read the documentation and I'm sure you will find a solution you were looking for. Overall, we are really happy about this product and I will definitely recommend this tool to other hosting providers and I hope that our partnership will continue to grow in the future. That's all. Thank you very much for your attention, guys.
Thank you very much, Arianna. I have a few questions from folks already. The first one is, what type of infections did you see before Imunify360?
Well, the most common types of infection were basically modification of files. As you may know, any file can be, any kind of file can be modified in HTML, PHP, JavaScript, and so on. Most of the time, files were modified in order to send spam or bulk emails, or to make redirects to other websites or unauthorized pages.
That's wonderful. I have a question from Jodelle. We noticed our client cPanel. However, I don't know that there's an option for scanning and cleaning inside of their cPanel. I can take that one. Jodelle, it's a little difficult to set up, but there's actually a tool inside of the feature manager to allow your cPanel customers to be able to log into the interface, and you can give them options of cleaning or running a scan or just seeing the output from the scan. The next question we have is, could you tell me about the development process, your development process with Imunify360?
Well, since we have thousands of servers, the deployment, the configurations and the updates of any softwares are managed by an automation software that is called Ansible. So basically, even in the case of Imunify360, we used Ansible to deploy it. So
no, that makes perfect sense. Ansible, once you get it right, it makes it easy for you. Configuration management, how did it take us this long to get to that? Another question from an anonymous attendee. WAF rules from Imunify360, it's okay to stand alone and stop attacks without any other custom WAF rules that we may have in the past. If we use Imunify360's rules, we must disable all custom rules that we set up in past attempts, or are we able to rely on Imunify360's rules? Really and truly, our rules should be enough to block most types of attackers. There's really only a brief window where you would need custom rules, like you had reported a type of attack to us and you needed a band-aid before we deployed it. It's really a brief time period. And I mean, with these mod security rules, you can write really bad rules that can just really degrade your performance. So I don't recommend it unless you're just very comfortable with regular expressions and mod security. But if there's nothing, we do have a collision on a rule, please open a support request and we can help you with that. And our next question, what feedback have you gotten from your customers about the security products, about your security products?
Well, customers are really happy about our security products. And like I said before, they also gave feedback about the clear layout and user friendliness of the Imunify360 interface. And I think that what customers found most helpful about this tool is to detect malware, and the ability to detect malware and at the same time to clean them up. And I think that the great thing about Imunify360 is that any difficult operation concerning your website security is made easier and within everyone's reach.
Awesome. I have another question. Does Imunify360 firewall need of CSF? We don't need CSF, but we can play nice with it. If it's already on the server, we'll detect it and play along really well. It's a very popular free plugin, and it definitely offers some features that are good for a lot of systems. So we play nice with it, but we definitely don't require it. If you don't have CSF installed, you're presented with a really nice firewall interface to manage your firewall. All right, well, that's 6. That's pretty good for everyone. Thank you all for attending. I appreciate your time and attention. I really want to thank Arianna for all her hard work on this presentation. And
thank you very much, Eric, and thank you again for this incredible opportunity. You've been really good to me.
Well, I'm happy to help. Thanks everyone for attending. I'm going to go ahead and stop the presentation now, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Thank you very much.